Hello, my name is Julie. I am the creator of Treasures Made from Yarn, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make these shelled socks. These are my original socks from 2011, a little worse from wear, but finally going to have a video for one of my more popular socks patterns. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. For this video, I'm going to use this worth of weight bamboo cotton yarn. It is about a fingering weight, which you will want for these socks. And I'm going to use a 2mm hook for this project, even though my blog post says to use a size B, so you want to use a rather small heart hook, some fine fingering or fine sock yarn for this project. Okay, we're going to start out by making a chain of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. In the second front chain from the hook, we are going to make 3 single crochets. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches on our foundation chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In this last chain, we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to turn and we're going to work on the other side of our foundation chain, and we're going to do a single crochet in 5 stitches along the other side. And if you want to try to hide some of your tail, I usually will put my tail along with it. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we are not going to join, we're going to keep working in continuous rounds. So, and we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're at the end of our toe. We're going to do 3 single crochet at the end. Yarn is split, not a good thing. Okay, and then we're going to do a single crochet along this other edge, so it'll be about 7. We're going to do this until we get to the other end of the toe. So we've reached the end of our toes. We're going to do 3 single. Three single crochets. Then we're going to go back to the beginning of our round. So you should have about 20 stitches at the end of the row. At the end of this second row. If you find it helpful, you can put a stitch marker to know about where we are at the beginning of our round. All right, so we're going to repeat that again. We're going to single crochet till we reach the end. Then I'm going to put a stitch marker to know that that's our first stitch. I would just single crochet till you reach the end of the toe. So about right here, this is like about the end of the toe. We're going to do 3. Go all the way back to the other end. And it's like we've reached about the end of the toe. Do 3 single crochets. So what you're going to do, you're going to keep doing this until your toe has 48 stitches total. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I'll meet back with you when I have 48 stitches. I have my 48 stitches. At this point, you might want to look at your toe and see if it is approximately the size you want it. I really don't have a gauge figured out for this. I guess socks is one of those things you look at it and it's like, okay, does this look like it's going to cover my toes? And why not cover my toes? If it's not, you're going to have to either adjust your hook size or change the yarn you might need to use. But I also want to throw out my other sock disclaimer that almost all my sock patterns were made to fit my foot, which is a US woman's size 8. But again, if you need to adjust, you can either change yarn, your hook size to make it fit your foot. So now that I throw out my disclaimer, we are going to continue on. Now we're going to start our shell pattern. And this little stitch marker is going to be your friend. So in the next stitch, we're still actually working in continuous rounds. And we're not joining up. So we'll just do another single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to mark that stitch as the beginning of the round. We are now going to skip 2 stitches and we are going to do 5 double crochets in our next stitch, and we will call it at this point our shell. So 5 double crochets to make our shell. So that's 2. 3. 4. 5. Made our shell. We are going to skip 2 stitches and do a single crochet. Skip 2 stitches and do our shell of 5 double crochets. That's 1. Five. Skip 2 stitches. Do a single crochet, and we're going to keep doing this around till we meet up at the beginning of the round. Finish this round, skipping 2. We're ending with our shell. Okay, and then we should have 2 skip stitches, and then we're back at our marker. We should, if we did it right, have 8 total shells. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep, and that's our 8th one. So this is why we finished our round. We're going to skip these 2 because that's the end of the round. And we're going to do a single crochet in that stitch. Put our marker back so we know that that's the beginning of the round. And now we're going to do a single crochet in every single stitch. So every single stitch around gets a single crochet. Okay, we have reached the end here. So we're at our marker, because it says we're still working kind of continuous rounds. In the next stitch, we are going to do our shell. So that's about the 5 double crochets. 1, 5. Make sure we put our marker back on our first stitch. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And we made our shell, and like before, we're going to skip 2 and do a single crochet. Skip 2, do our shell. skip 2, do our single, skip 2 and do our shell. So we're going to keep doing that around, and we should end on our a single crochet. We are at the end. We skip 2, and we end up with a single, skip 2, and then at our marker we're going to do another row of just single crochets, but this time we're going to move our marker. We're going to do a single crochet here, that one, and then on the third double crochet of our shell we're going to do single crochet, and we're going to move our marker right here. So after we're going to move our marker to the third stitch, because after we're done doing all single crochets we're going to start our repeat over again at that point. All right, so what now we're going to do is single crochets around in every single stitch. Okay, we have reached the end of our now 4th row. Go ahead and single crochet in these 2 up to the marker. Take out the marker, and then you're going to repeat the 4 rows like we did before. Like the next stitch we'll start our shell, nope, I take that back. First one is not a shell, it is a single crochet. Start out with a single crochet, mark it, and do like we did before. Skip 2, do our shell around, and then do a row of alternating rows of single crochets and shell stitch. So you want to keep doing this until you're about ready to start the heel, which is about 2 to 3 inches before you want to get started. I'll insert a photo over here of what that would look like. I'll let you know now when I'm long enough and ready to start the heel of our sock. Okay, I am at where I needed to be, the length of my sock that I wanted to be. And now we're going to start our heel. So you want to finish your row on the single, we're going to finish up on a single crochet row. And we want to keep single crocheting until you line up approximately to the end of a shell. So we want to cover about 4 shells when we make our heel. So what we do now is that when you're at the edge, chain 1 and turn your sock. You're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 24 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me. And 24, chain 1, and then we're going to turn. And our 24 should cover 2, 3, 4 shells. So we're going to do another row of 24 single crochets, and you're going to keep doing that until you have 10 rows of single crochet completed. Okay, I have completed my 10 rows. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. What we're going to do now is do a single crochet in the next 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and we have 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to single crochet 2 together, and single crochet in the next one. Turn. It's gonna work. We're gonna do a single crochet in the next 2. We're going to do single crochet 2 together, and 1 in the next one. Chain 1, turn. We're going to do 1, the next 3. Now we're going to single crochet 2 together with this one and the next one on the row below. And then single crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, then we're going to turn. Then we're going to single crochet. Now in the next 4. And then we're going to single crochet like 2 together. Put that one in the row below. Now if it starts to get, this looks like it's starting to get like a too big of a gap, we can do 3 together. That would be 1 in the end of that row. We can probably do 1 in the side like that, and then 1 on the row below. Then you just yarn over and draw through all the loops. And then we'll do a single crochet in the next one. And we're going to keep going that way until all of them are worked. Okay, we're going to single crochet in the next. Now it's like 1, 2, 5. We're going to do 1 together, and we're going to do again another one in the side of the couple rows, and then one in the next stitch of our unworked row. And then we're going to do one in the next one. Turn. We keep going in this manner. We're doing one in the next. 2, 3, a yarn split there. 4, 5, and 6. Together here, and then the side, and then the next one. Single crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, turn. And we're going to do, I think we're on 7 now. 2, we're going to do a single, like, would be like 3 together, so it'll be that one. Pull it up along the side, and then in the one next, the next row, or the row below, that was unworked yet. And then one more next to that one. Chain 1, turn. Probably start seeing our heel turn form. So I think we're on 8, I'm not sure. 1, 2, 1. Yep. So we'll do 3 together again. 1 in the side, and then 1 in this next stitch from this row. And 1 in the next one. Return. Yep. Yep, run 9. Over, boom on from the side, and 1 in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in this one. Chain 1, turn. 5, 9 and 10. Now we're going to do together one in the side and one in the row below. And one there. We're about ready to finish up our turn here. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Now we're on 11. And now at the end, if you notice, we only have one left down here. So we're just going to end with our decrease here. So there's one there, one on the side, and then the last one on that row, a loop. Then you want to turn. And if it all worked out, we should have 12 stitches left on top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11, and our 12th stitch is going to be our final decrease, which will be yarn over 1, the last one in that row, and then the sides, and then the last unworked one. There you have it. You should have 12 on the top, and now we're going to now continue on and work around and decrease all this down to 24. So now we'll finish up our heel. All right, now we are back. Like I said, we just finished up our heel flap. And now what we're gonna do now, we're gonna continue on, and we're going to put 12 single crochets evenly along this edge. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're gonna need 2 stitch markers now. So we're gonna take them, we're gonna mark the 12th stitch. So we're gonna place our marker. And now we're back to this top of the sock. We are going to work our established pattern from before. So before we finished up a all single crochet row. So now we're going to skip 2 stitches, put our single crochet, skip 2 stitches, put our shell in there, skip 2 and put our single crochet, skip 2 and put our shell, skip 2, put our single, skip 2, put our shell, skip 2, put our single, skip 2, and then we're going to put, I think we should end yes, we should end with a shell. Skip 2, we need to put in our a shell, so we'll put that in this stitch right here. All right, so that is our established pattern for our top, and we should have 4 shells for our top. Now we're going to put 12 stitches along this side. We're going to just put our first one here, and we want to mark that stitch with our stitch marker. We'll put in 11 more. It's not to include our 12 here, so we're going to put 11 more stitches in. And that would have been our second one, so that'll be 2, 3, 9. And we gotta make sure not to include. Well, probably would have been useful to head mark the first one where the 12 started. So now we got our 12 more added. yes, it probably would have been easier, probably just to make sure not to run into that. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we got our 12 in. We're still working continuous rounds. We are going to single crochet all the way up until we reach one stitch before our marker. All right, we are stopping one stitch before our stitch marker. We are going to single crochet 2 together, stitch that one, and we're going to put our marker back. This will be our new marked stitch. Now we're back to the top of the sock, and we are doing our established pattern from earlier. So now we're on the row that this all gets single crochets in every stitch. Okay, we have approached our marker. Now we're going to do a decrease with this mark stitch and the next one. So we're going to do a single crochet 2 together, decrease. We're going to put our marker back in that stitch. And we're going to keep doing that until the number of stitches between the marker, or including the markers, we have 24 for the back of the foot. So we're back to 2 on this side, 1 before the marker. We're at a single crochet, 2 together. We're going to put our marker back. Now we're back on our established pattern. So in the next stitch, we're going to put in a shell. Skip 2, our single,
skip 2 our shell, skip 2, do our single, skip our shell, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, do a shell. You should know by now, you probably know the established pattern. 2.
Do our single, and if you notice when we skip 2, we're back to our marker. So make sure again we should have 4 shells, which we do for the top of our sock. And we skip 2 because it's still, this part's still part of the top of the sock, and now we're at the marker. Do 2 together. Put our marker back. So off camera, I'm going to finish my decreases up. Which reminder, you want to keep doing what we're doing until we have 24 stitches. That's including the marker, the 2 markers is part of that 24. So I'll let you know when I am back down to 24 stitches. Okay, I have finished up all my decreases, so I have 24 stitches on the back of the sock. We can take off this stitch marker, we don't need it anymore. So to add the shell back on, you noticed that my top row is, we just finished up doing the shell pattern, so we need to have a single crochet row. So we're going to do a single crochet around again, because I think we're going to start off with this shell. We are going to move our marker in this case. I think, nope, I think the first one was, no, that was our decrease. I'm getting confused. We're going to move our marker to the top of this shell. We will start with a single crochet when we do our shells again. We're going to mark that stitch right there at the beginning of our row. We're going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, we're finished our round, and then go ahead and do a single crochet up to the marker. All right, and we're going to start our established pattern. This first one's going to be, the mark stitch is going to be a single crochet. Go ahead and mark it. And again, we skip 2, put our shell pattern. This should work out. This should be like the same pattern you're used to doing. And we're going to keep on the established pattern till you get the height of the sock or the cuff to where you want it. Okay, I have reached the height I wanted for my sock, and I finished off a single crochet row. And all I'm going to do at this point is slip stitch into the next one and finish this off. If you want to try to create some form of a cuff for this, you can, either doing some front posts we're putting single crochets up and down, but for this sock, I think it looks just fine as is. So we're going to finish it off. And now the challenging part now is to make a second sock that looks just like the one you just made. My tip for that is to immediately start your second sock after you finish your first one, or anything that you have to make two identical of. All right, so after I finish this off, I'll have my first sock done. So that is it for this tutorial, and if you like it, please give it a like. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.